Time to sit down with Dr. Klein from the Stages of Life Institute. Always a great conversation and very informative. And get a pen and a paper out so at the end of the interview we can get information on how you can connect with the stages of life. All right, you ever hear these commercials? You ever read articles? You ever hear mentions of food supplements? What is a food supplement and why is it important? And why should we even care what is in the food that we're eating? What is a food supplement?
Okay, well, it gets back to Hippocrates. It's the father of medicine. And he said something very interesting, which was, let food be thy medicine.
Ah.
Now, food can be a medicine. Food can be a poison. Everything is a nutrient. Everything is a poison depending upon rate, route, and amount with which you eat it, consume it, or that it's exposed to you. And that's just the way it goes. Oxygen, too little, you die. Too much, you die. Water, too little, too much, you die. Salt, sugar, everything. It works that way in life. Everything in moderation, everything in balance. But that's a problem, okay? Because where do you get these nutrients? From what source? From what part of nature are you necessarily getting the things that you need, whether you know what they are or not? Truth is, whether you believe it or not, truth remains truth. Your body needs certain things. It needs essential amino acids. What's so essential about them? Your body can't manufacture them. Essential carbohydrates. Very, very important. Most people don't even know that they exist. Your body needs these largely for cell-to-cell recognition, energy transfer in the immune system. Your body needs essential omega fatty acids. Why? It's absolutely necessary for you to maintain your cellular membrane integrity. Minerals, straight on down the line. What are these and why are they important? Well, they're supplements. We call them supplements for a reason. And the main reason is this, that one, it's no longer a given that these things are going to be present in your food supply. Once upon a time, okay, these things were abundant in our food supply. They were abundant in the water. You couldn't go very far without getting enough of your B complex, vitamin C, vitamin E for that matter, as well as the minerals. But we have long since cropped these minerals straight out of the soil. You can't make a mineral. Mm-hmm. You cannot do it. It's an element. It cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. It has to be there in order for it to be absorbed into the plant material so that you can consume it. It has to be in the soil so that the water pulls it through. Well, it doesn't work that way so much anymore. So we become deficient, profoundly so, in minerals, in particular zinc, selenium, vanadium, chromium, strontium, as well as things that you may or may not have ever heard of, manganese, boron, silicon, magnesium, calcium. These things are necessary for you to remain healthy. So we have to supplement them into our diet. They have to be added to our diet. The same thing is true of vitamins. Where do you get these things from? Typically from meat. If you're a vegetarian, you're hosed. Okay,
Ooh.
You're not going to get them. So you have to supplement them because you may not find what you need in vegetable materials. Or if you do, they may not be easily absorbed. And that's a problem. So what are we looking at? These things are supplements for a reason because they no longer exist in our food supply in sufficient quantity to keep us healthy. Now let's think it through for a second. When you were 18, 20, 21, when you were 14, okay, you were eating junk, yet you were growing. You were healthy, plus or minus. The kids these days are less healthy than when I was a child. That's largely because things have gotten that much worse. But as you get older, your body becomes less and less efficient in absorbing these things from the food that's delivered to it. So you need more. Well, go figure. You're getting older, so you need more nutrients. You would think that you would need less. It's exactly the opposite. So what do? You look at what you're eating and go, well, gee, the recommended daily allowance of X, Y, and Z, I'm exceeding that. Well, those things were bare minimum for individuals that were 20, 21 years of age in 1940 before we even realized what these things did anyway. So the long and short of it is that you have to supplement what you eat with these quote-unquote supplements of vitamins, minerals, herbals in order for you to maintain your health. Now, as you get older, As you start developing and you start accumulating the ravages of time, you start to develop illnesses. You start let's say, expose yourself to elements, to things in the environment that need to be removed, detoxified. Your body has additional needs. Your body has to have some protection, and you supplement it with your diet. So can you take them in the foods? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Is it expensive to do this in your food? Sometimes much more expensive than it is to take the vitamin and mineral supplements that are available to you, at least for the time being, at your grocery store, your drugstore, so on and so forth, and at stages of life. There are movements afoot to deny you that right. We are fighting very, very hard with our friendly government, who all they want to do is really protect you from yourself so that you can't make yourself any better.
One of the big problems that we've discussed on the show, and one of the things in doing these shows, there's an after effect. People walk up to me that I don't even know, and somebody will say, "Oh, that's Rob Newton," and they'll say, "Oh, well, I hear him with with this doctor, and I hear him with this real estate guy." So they'll come up and they'll ask me questions, and they say the biggest mystery we have is we don't know what supplements when we walk into a store are what they say they are, or what's being advertised on national TV will do what they say it'll do. And my only answer is, well, I found the truth in the stages of life. And you can get to it not only personally, but you can go there online. But these people are really, I think a lot of them are getting robbed blind and spending hard-earned money off of just crap.
Well, you bet. Okay, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, was actually put together to protect people from this. Now, like every other great idea, it was bastardized and turned into a monster, okay? But the idea was to protect you from snake oil sales, okay? This little bottle will cure everything, okay? Well, it doesn't work that way. So in the nutraceutical industry, you're not supposed to make claims. That is really what it's all about. So they'll talk about it supports this or it supports that. But if you see a product that's advertised that say that it will do this and it's used to treat that, these companies are not around long, okay, because you can't necessarily make claims, at least not legally. So what you need to do is you need to study. You need to learn about what's going on and understand this. There's very, very little regulation with regards to purity, labeling, so on and so forth, in the nutraceutical industry. Now, at stages of life, we adhere to a pharmaceutical level of quality and quality control. Most of our products are made at pharmaceutical companies. These companies cannot produce real pharmaceuticals, the sorts of things that are prescription only, and over-the-counter products, and adhere to two different standards. So what we do is we go ahead with the higher pharmaceutical grade standards. The labeling has to be precise. The assays have to be determined in order to go through what's called GMP, which is the procedure that you have to do in order to maintain your FDA licensure. So we go ahead with quality. We stick with quality. We like quality. What's more is it's just like bartending and cooking, okay? If you go with consistency, you're going to end up with a consistent product, consistent outcome, and things seem to do better. So why do you need supplementation at all? Well, let's think this one through. Most people assume that vitamin C is an essential thing in your diet, in spite of the fact that people get adequate vitamin C all the time. You don't see too much scurvy out there these days. Vitamin D, on the other hand, about half the people listening are going to be vitamin D deficient and think that they can go to the store and buy vitamin D, understand what's going on by the zit-faced clerk who tells them, oh, buy either one, A, B, C, or D, and it doesn't matter how or where you take it, when in fact it's equally important how things are taken as to how much. Now, if you look on these labels, it'll tell you 100% of the recommended daily allowance of 400 IUs of vitamin D3. The dosage starts at 5,000. That's 12 times the RDA for the average adult to reduce your risk of colon cancer, to reduce your risk of breast cancer, to reduce your risk of MS. So if you don't know what you're looking at, you need to ask somebody who might. Who might that person be? That person might be your physician if they're so inclined to learn this stuff. And it's not taught in medical school so much anymore. In fact, it never really was. It's all self-taught. You might find yourself a nutritionist. Same thing occurs. That's basically a cut-down doctor. Or you do your own research. Now, we're putting a lot of this material online for you. You can find it at stagesoflife.net or suffernomore.com. We have all of these files out there. You can look them over, read them, watch them, do as you wish, but use this data wisely. You can select your products, you can select your regimens, you can cobble them together on your own, or you can ask us to do it for you. We're happy to do it.
All right, Robin, can you give us your contact information?
The office phone number is 407-679-3337, and our website is stagesoflife.net. We are located in Longwood. Our office hours are Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, and our health store is open during those office hours. You can find our health store online also at stagesoflife.net, and we are on Facebook. You can find us at Stages of Life Medical Institute. Like us, and you'll get lots of neat information.